Pop. How is all? How be we? Up. How is the cheap? How is the Kiru? Are we good? As good as circumstances may allow, at the very least. Up. Okay. That's better than not okay. Finished your drawing today? Yeah, it was good. Also, how dare you say that halfway through you forgot how to draw? That doesn't make any sense. Nonsense. Complete nonsense. I mean, if by that you mean halfway through you forgot how to draw, took a break, came back and was like, oh yeah, I know how to draw. Then yeah, fair enough. No, I disagree. There is no evidence to support this, and I am an empiricist. The problem with this piece of music is it starts quite quiet and then gets louder. Get hacking away at Jesse's face until it actually looked like a face. It looks like a face! How dare you? And it looks like Jesse's. Nah. There's my constructive criticism. Nah. What are we doing? Swoosh! We're back to the slightly off-center canvas of shame. Don't draw them in. No, I know the feeling. Also, I would be putting in the piece of music we worked on last Saturday into the rotation, but I had to listen to it on speakers after we finished the stream, and no. Way too bassy. Couldn't tell on my headphones. So I need to remix it. Dan doesn't know how to draw the face. More then! What we should do a little thing where we just hang out and just doodle OCs. Just nothing, no finished thing planned, just doodle OCs. Just to practice. Just have fun doodling them. No, nothing, finished. No end product. Just done. Done. Like that. We should. We'll put that on the pile. Yeah, to figure out how their faces work, yeah. I do want to work out a style for October Noir if I ever get around to doing that, because, I don't know. Ah, whoops, turned that all the way up. Just meant to click on the thing, oh no. Everything's breaking. Have we had nice days at the very least? I know, Kira, you've probably only just woken up, but the fact remains. Not the fact, the statement stands, whatever. I feel like my microphone is louder than usual, I don't know why. In the meantime, quick recap of what happened last time. After not Simon. Simeon. Slut? One of the two. After Simeon, yes. After Simeon, I fell asleep for a bit early last night, woke up a few hours ago as well. Yeah. Simeon, middle name, slut. Yes, so after they went off, Simeon, VV, Nox, and Quimch. Quimch is just along for the ride, as they always are. They went off to Bermesia to see what was going on there, because apparently Alexandria were invading. They were invading, and they basically killed everybody. They couldn't find the king, but everyone was dead. Everyone who was there, almost everyone. They helped get a few people out. Anyway, they confronted the queen and a mysterious Mr. Swan about, what's going on, and they were very evil in response. And they decided to send Jesse after, not Chibi's Jesse, this Jesse, after us. We had a fight. Jesse, very strong, General Jesse, Very, very strong. Wiped us out. Didn't kill us, but just left us on the floor very, very injured. That was the end of disc 1. So we then go to what we did last time, which is we returned to what the princess was doing. Princess, Butterknife, and James, they were travelling between the Lindblom lands and the Alexandria lands via the cable car, well, not the cable car, the funicular railway leading up to the gate that we crashed into earlier, which is undergoing repairs. So we can't fly through it, but we can, funicular railway. On the way, they met up with a couple of the old Tantalus gang. They met up with Alexander I and Bananamin. Alexander I is on his way back to Lindblom, which is where the gang is sort of based. But Bananamin has a hunch, or has heard on the grapevine, that there is something in the city of Trino that might be able to help March out, what with him being a statue now. This we consider a coincidence because that's where Princess Butterknife wants to go. James is not too happy about the princess joining up with more thieves. It's their theme. But James doesn't get a choice in the matter because it's the princess's decision. He's just there to protect her. Along the way, we encounter the charred remains of the Black Waltz 3, and we fight it again, and then it dies. That could have been a cool moment that actually gave us a bit more information about the plot, but no. It's fun though. It's fun seeing that. Anyway, we go to Trino, which is this with Bananamin. Alexander I has gone to Lindblom. And we get to Trino, and it's this big city that's all like canals and rivers and water. I think it's all suspended over water. Everything's made of stone, but there are also poor areas which are sort of cobbled together with wood on top of the stone. It's a big like juxtaposition of the nobles and the poor people, so on and so forth. Butterknife gets lost, wandering around, and finds an auction house. With everybody bidding very extortionate money on trinkets and baubles. But there she looks up and sees who we know to be Mr. Swan and goes, I recognize him from the castle. James then comes in and goes, princess, we gotta go. Where do they go? They go on a boat. They meet up with Bananamin and subsequently Captain Durgan Porkus. Because they have a plan, which is they need to get the thing called a super soft to help March, but it's in the possession of a noble in the city, and they're going to nick it, because they're thieves. The princess joins because she feels bad about what happened to March, and James joins because he's trying to protect the princess, and he's having a bit of an existential crisis about what he's doing right now. The princess is also having an existential crisis of like what she's doing right now. Everyone's having an existential crisis. It's Existential Crisis, the game. We break into the place and try and find the thing. It turns out the aristocrat that we're trying to steal this from is actually the childhood mentor of Princess Butterknife, Professor Pretty Pruzzen, who's a cute little bird friend, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And the princess is like, Professor Pretty Pruzzen, how you doing? And he's like, what are you doing here, princess? She's like, definitely not trying to steal your stuff. We're looking for the super soft. And he's like, oh, yes, I can give that to you, no problem. Meet me at my tower. We go meet him at the tower. We get given the super soft. And we also get to see inside his little inverted globe thing. Yeah, the whole game is Existential Crisis. That's the thing. We already know that from Vivi. Yeah, and he talks about the world and how the world is like more than just the continent we're on and blah, 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 and, bits and bobs. Larger scale things, so on and so forth. And how he left the castle, and when he left the castle... This was just after the death of the king, which was her father. Professor Pretty Pruzzen mentions that, like, everything was going a bit weird, and a stranger turned up, and the queen was starting acting suspiciously, and blah, 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 blah. And I've heard ructions since, so I'm going to help you get back to the castle. You need to get back to Alexandria, because that's where March is. But I can help you get back to there quickly, because there is a secret underground tunnel system. Which used to be used to transport people back and forth before airships were invented, mist-powered engines and all that. So we go underground and we discover that this place is actually run by a big insect with a harness strapped to it. We hop on that and we hop on that and we scuttle our way through the tunnels to Alexandria. We fight a snake along the way, unremarkably, and we arrive in Alexandria and we are immediately captured by Frick and Frack, who very, very gleefully tell us that the princess is under arrest and James and Banana Min are going to be executed for the crime of treason. So that's fun. And last we left off, the two executees were trapped in a cage with some starfish, a hostile strain of starfish. Paul Master BBV.
Locked tight. I can't get inside.
If it helps, I was playing the game recently. I'm quite far ahead in the story from where we are. But I did just get to a place.
It's sealed up. I can't get through.
They can't get through. It's impossible. They're not narrow enough to get through these. Well, James isn't anyway. James isn't narrow enough to get through some doors. Wanted to try. Keep trying. It's fine. But yeah, I just want to slight spoilers.
I won't be able to open them.
Slight spoilers for things to come. I got to a place in my playthrough where people were nice to Vivi. So that's good. Things do look...
Is that the Dart of the Gardens?
It's not the Dart of the Gardens. That's a cage to a pit. Looks a bit like this. They're just sort of suspended in the middle of a big pit. So even if they could get out of the bars, they would just fall. Right. I guess in that summary, there was one thing I did forget, which was... we go back to... I don't know if we forgot, maybe.
The doors are tightly sealed.
The tights are door
Stock.
Stock. Doesn't know what a Dart of the Gardens looks like now. So briefly, before we continue with the story, we go back to the auction house. In Trina, where we saw Mr. Swan on a balcony. And we are treated to a brief chat between Mr. Swan and the auctioneer. They're both doing a similar pose, I've just realized. And Mr. Swan talks about procuring some things. He says to the auctioneer, you know, have you got them ready or whatever it is? I don't know if he mentions what they are. But he says he's getting some things from the auctioneer. I don't know whether he is friends with the auctioneer or if he just won them at an auction, I don't know. But the auctioneer says, "Oh, are these for the Queen Helga? You know, I'm sure Queen Helga would be happy with these or whatever." And Mr. Swan says, "Oh, that is no. Don't worry about that massive elephant. No, she's no concern of me. I have bigger plans." And then he starts monologuing about the beautiful lady that stepped into the auction house not too long ago during the auction. And then he gets a bit creepy about talking about how she's a bird free from her cage. And I am your shining knight in armor. I will come to you on my white horse and put you back in a cage. I can't remember exactly how this poetry goes.
It's blocked. I can't go that way.
Cage. I think Dark intercepted you. Red flag. Hi, everybody.
Closed on account of vermin.
Well, I wouldn't call Swan vermin. It's going a bit far. Hi, Dark. Hi, Ragdoll.
Your friend is dead.
Friend's not dead. Resolutely, we will go and see that they are not dead. They are just sleeping. I would call him vermin. That's fair. Honestly. Anyway, yeah, so they have this conversation. He gets some stuff from the auctioneer. And talks about how he doesn't actually really care about the Queen at all. You win! You know, he's a magical arms dealer. He's not in it for whoever wins the fight. He's in it for power. because this was the guy we heard who's been supplying the black mages, or the technology to make the black mages, or something like that, to the queen. So their HP dropped to 0, so they have to honk shoe. I think their HP drops to 1, actually. Jesse is very, very good at that. Except in the randomizer playthrough that I did.
That wasn't necessary of you, but you have my thanks.
Didn't you do that like last stream? How does that work? It was probably a month ago. My memory is aquarium gravel. So yeah, that's basically the recap. It is a new month. It is, I guess. Fine. You lot with your time. If it dropped to 0, it would have been a game over. Yeah, I was playing a randomizer, which randomizes all of the moves of all of the enemies. And yeah, Jessie had some real powerful moves that she did instead of dropping my health to 1. So that was fun. Sorry, from enemy is August. Look, Chibi Nether's Day's tomorrow. We'll see more about August then, presumably. But for now, we're going to return to our friends who are currently not having a great time. Okay, physically, but not emotionally after Good Omens. Mood. Baby. Everyone is currently face down on the floor in the water. But we arrive just as they've all recovered and they're starting to get up. The Queen's long gone. Everyone's buggered off. They're basically in a completely empty city at this point, and they're standing there going, well, that didn't go so well. What do we do now? And Nox says, well, we didn't find the king, and the Queen said that they couldn't find the king. So maybe the king's run away somewhere? And they say, well, where might they have run away? Well, there is the kingdom nearby of Clara, who... It's a bit difficult to run away there. They haven't really accepted visitors for several hundred years, but maybe exigent circumstances and all that. So they go, okay, better than nothing. Let's go to Clara. Why not? So we leave this city and we go to Clara. What does Clara look like? It looks like an tornado. Gonna lie down next to me. Oh no. So yeah, Vivi's still along for the ride because he still wants to know what's going on with the Black Mages, because why are they attacking? Like, they were perfectly docile. They helped him out on the airship when he was being threatened by the Black Waltz. Why are they now suddenly engaging in genocide? Smaller on the what? Then what did I say? They can drown out of public. Okay, about Viv. I was just saying that I'm currently playing the game. I'm quite far ahead of where we are in the story right now. You just picked a gif of Clara. Why, to annoy me? Oh, Clara, I see. Yeah, we're going to Clara, which is much more interesting than Clara. It has personality. Anyway, enough about plasterboard. So Clara is a big old tornado, which is not an inviting place to be, all things considered. However, under strange circumstances, there is in fact a way in. There is in fact a little gap in the bottom of the tornado, and our characters walk into the gap at the bottom of the tornado, and they look up, and they see that inside the tornado is, in fact, there's like the tornado rushing around outside. We're looking up. Is a massive tree. There's a big old tree right in the middle of this tornado thing, with like roots going around it and all sorts of stuff. Set it on fire. No! Well, no. This is a good tree. This is a Clara. It houses a civilization and protects them. And it has done for the past 1,000 years or whatever. So I guess a little bit of lore about this place while I'm randomly doodling. The Clarans and the Burmesians are the same people, but their civilizations sort of diverged at a certain point. One went off to Clara, one stayed in Burmesia. They developed into different sort of cultures, but they are the same people generally. So more rat friends, hooray! But they've been obviously very cut off, what with living inside a tornado. Burmesia is the land of never-ending rain, and Trino is a place of perpetual night. This is surrounded by a sandstorm. I should probably have specified that this is a sand tornado. That is, thank you very much for reminding me. Yeah, there's all sorts of sand on the bottom. Sand in the tornado.
So one kept the OU and the other got rid of it.
The OU. I'm trying to think what OU would be. I don't know if that's a typo or if that's something I don't understand. Could be either. They're made of clay. They'll be fine. There is actually like a sand golem enemy here, sort of like clay.
Insert Darude's sandstorm here.
Oh, like color, which is correct. Oh, I see. I know what you mean.
Yes. So the Clarans, being the much more sensible folk, kept the OU. No, silly. Actually, these are the ones that left, aren't they? Well, the civilizations diverged. I don't actually know if they came from Burmesia. Anyway, yeah, so the sandstorm rages in the big tree, and we climb the big tree, and we get to the top. As we climb up, there's all sorts of sand tree dungeon stuff, and it's all wibbly wobbly and very rickety, and so on and so forth. But we eventually get to the top. And we are greeted. What are we greeted by? Well, we're greeted by some Claren people who are like, aha, hello. Are you from Burmesia? And they're like sort of, I would describe the Burmesians as more hot-headed and the Clarens as more like pious, probably. If I had to describe a difference between the two of them, and they wear like robes and hats and stuff. Back to the sand bucket shaped like a castle. Back with food. What food? Quimch is excited at the concept of food. Quimch is here. Quimch immediately goes, new place. Where's the food? And runs off and tries to eat mushrooms. Actually, it takes her a while to find the mushrooms. She harasses some of the locals saying, have you got food? And they have no idea what Quimch is. So they're kind of freaked out. But eventually they find mushrooms. So yeah, we arrive and we're like, yeah, this place is cool, isn't it? Did people make it from Burmesia? And they say, oh yeah, the king's here. So hey, the king survived. Hurrah, good stuff. We assume, I mean, we've never met the king, but Nox seems to think he's good. He didn't start the war, right? This is Simeon, once again not looking like Simeon. And Simeon gets a little bit of a wander around. He's like, oh, this is an interesting place. We meet a couple of people. Actually, everyone cuts off and wanders around. So, okay, you're going to go in the corner for a sec. I'll probably need you later. We're going to see what everybody goes and does. Yeah, Shahi. Shahi runs off. I'm just sticking with they. Dan or Avi mentioned something about the survivors going to Clara where they could run into each other in Bermesia, but you could also be remembering wrong. Yeah. And is it Avi we meet here? No, it must be someone else because the encounter doesn't make sense. You could also actually you can stay there. So Quimch is off looking at mushrooms that are growing on the trunk of the massive tree that what we're standing on. We're up in the canopy now. I'm just like, mushrooms.
I don't like them.
Why don't you like Quimch? They're just looking for foods. Do you have nice foods? Don't know what the pose is. The tongue's either going to be dry or slimy like a slug. Both make you wholly uncomfortable. This is a strange species. It might have the texture of velvet. You know, you don't know. The about to pounce and consume pose. I'm gonna get the mushes. So they're doing that. Meanwhile, Vivi's crying in a corner. Hi, Bear! You made Vivi cry in a corner, Bear. How dare you? Yes, are you burning toast? If not, call a bondulance. Call a bondulance. Bear's having strong. Can you smile and lift your arms up? You like them too. Them's was a good bud. Oh no. You're gonna have to have their drawing tablet. Hugs for baby Vivi. Been told not to smoke because it makes people uneasy. Collapsing out of a stroke will make them more uneasy. I always thought that about strokes. Is that one way to tell, like, if you're having a stroke is you can't hold the arms up, right? That's one of the signs. So that makes me wonder, if you have a stroke, can you not become a zombie? Because they have to have the arms up, right? They shuffle around with the arms up, going, bleh, brains. Well, those bear teeth. Yeah. Smile is awkward. No! Asking the real questions today, yeah. Not selling the born in recent generations thing. I was born in the 1960s. No, I was born in 1940s. So then I came to fruition, as it were, in the 1920s, in the 1960s. No, the 1920s. I'm Benjamin Button. 1740s, exactly. If you look carefully, I'm in the background of every historical scene in Good Omens. And I get younger as you go further back. No, I get older, hang on. I know how Benjamin Button works. Don't forget how linear time works. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Anyways, no one gonna ask why somebody's shouting at Vivi. Come on, you guys. No one cares. No one cares about poor Vivi. Got a fancy sword somewhere in the closet, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't remember what closet. It's been a while.
Punch the shouter for Vivi. Didn't want room to have everyone else. Kira, you can't interrupt people in Twitch chats. Great. That's one of the good things about it. You just do what you want, and everyone else's text happens around it. Anyway, so turns out, having had your city
invaded out of the blue by a group of a species you've never seen before, and every single one of the people you knew and loved dying in the process, makes you a bit reticent to accept that one of those people that you've never seen before that killed all of your friends and family is nice. So yeah, this basically we're experiencing PTSD here. This person sees Vivi and goes, ah! Because Vivi is a black mage, and the black mages are the ones what did this. Well, they're the ones what carried out the orders. No, carried out the orders, not gave. They can't give the orders, they don't speak. Do you want to stroke the nose? So yeah, Vivi, until my recent playthrough of this, I didn't realize this happened. So you have this thing where when you arrive at a new place, your party splits up, they all go off and do different things, and you can watch optional scenes. And I remember seeing the scene where this guy yells at Vivi or whatever. What I didn't do is, until this playthrough, is go to the inn where this is all happening after seeing that scene, and Vivi is literally huddled up in a corner shaking, going, I didn't do anything. It's like, oh no. Poor Vivi. That's the problem, miss. They're pointing at Vivi because Vivi is a black mage, and the only time they've ever seen black mages is when their city was invaded and destroyed by them, and all of their friends and family killed by them. So they're not too happy at seeing another one. Okay, well in that case, have patience. Anyway, so that's happening. And Nox is off talking with the king, which is nice. But we're not involved in that because we're not part of Burmesian royalty. But while Simeon's just having a little look around, I'll finish off this drawing, why not? He goes to the inn where he finds Vivi crying in a corner. We are informed by somebody rushing in that the antlion is freaking out. To which our response is the what? Turns out this place has, much like the Burmesians have Gizmaluke, a sort of powerful creature that is sort of symbolic to their culture and all that sort of stuff. Gizmaluke being wet, living in water. Makes sense, the antlion lives in sand. Sandstorm. Hi, Oops, how you doing? How goes it? And Gizmaluke was freaking out, and we had to whack them on the head. Now the antlion's freaking out. Guess what we're gonna do? Significantly blonder than when the day started. Ooh, fun. Now, I have heard, through the grapevine of Tumblr, that blondes are not... They're not in high esteem at the moment. Certainly in terms of love life. Between pirates and angels and... I've heard blondes are problematic in that sense. Tumblr's having a thing at the moment. Yes, are you a pirate or an angel? If not, you're fine. But you have antlions in Australia. Do you get them in the UK? I don't think so. Angel plural. Well, once upon a time. How do you tell? Dunno. You Caesar of Omford? Also, did you see how smoothly I got that joke out without being awkward at all and realizing that, hang on, I don't want this to sound like an insult to Oobs? Just halfway through going, should I be saying this? No, no pirates. I think Tumblr would have told me by now. October this year. Ooh, exciting. You have to work harder to turn so you grew up with 4 siblings. That's fair. That's fair. Look, doesn't stop me worrying though, does it? If everything's still functioning by then. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yes, so somebody comes in screaming, the antlion, they're behaving all weird. And this priest, what we're talking to, goes, oh my word. The antlions never behaved like this in hundreds of years. We should do something about it. I will go and inform somebody who will make a plan. And we're just sort of left there going, well, what do we do about... Oh, no, hang on. Sorry. Slightly more important piece of information. The antlion's going all strange and is attacking a child. That's probably quite important. Should probably have added that. So we get to the antlion, who is in a little sort of sand whirlpool. And by little, I mean quite big. The antlion, for reference, is a sort of recurring boss in the Final Fantasy franchise. I think they first appeared in 4? Definitely in 5. They're really annoying in 5. Gonna give them double pincers. Oh! They're kind of annoying in this one too. Yeah. Oh yeah, they have a move that like brings you down to 1 health. Much like Jessie, actually. Jessie can do it all at once though. Does it have like big arms like this? I can see it in my head, but the moment I try and focus on details, it goes all blurry. As if that hasn't been the case for every single draw through. That damn move. So yeah, not quite the same as these aren't like pincers; they're sort of feet, I suppose. One of your nemesis in this game / series. Anyway, so they're flailing around having a time in this big old sand whirlpool thing, and they have a small rat child. Clenched betwixt their pincers. Their pants prey, if you will. F and chat for the rat child. Action! Suspense! Drama! A rat child being thrown around. Right, so Simeon runs in and goes, well, we probably should do something about this. Here is my attempt at drawing Simeon from behind. It always goes well from the front. Arguably looks better. Okay, from now on I'm drawing Simeon from behind. You should do something about this. This is your fault, presumably. Then Vivi runs in. Oh, now attempt to draw Vivi from behind. And goes, ah! It's Queek? Queek. It's Queek! Queek's in danger, gotta help Queek! Now, who here remembers Queek? Do we though? Yes, Q Mark. Character we met in stream 1 and 2 of this. The little rat friend, what helped Vivi get in to watch the play. Does that back? You remember, but you also played the game. Yeah, so this is Queek. There. What with the little hat that looks a bit like an acorn. And a little nose. It's at this point that Nox runs in. And goes, crap, it's the prince! What the hell's he doing here? And then presumably Quimch also runs in and goes, do antlions taste nice? Probably. And then we have a fight. Prince Queek, yes. Turns out Queek is the Prince of Bermesia. Quimch here too. What was Prince Queek doing in the streets of the other city before then? Good question. In order to work this out, we must beat this boss. And we do, because we don't have combat in Drawthroughs. That was easy. And what, you know, once again, we don't kill this because it's like the sacred animal of the Claren people. We just make it retreat back into the sand. Think about what it's done. Calm down. Being a prince. Quimch is here. It's like, can I eat? No. Sacred animal, Quimch. Also, I'm using the wrong pencil, which is why everything looks... Okay, better.
Victory fanfare.
I didn't write a fanfare, because they're short, and it'll be annoying in the playlist. Viva can throw fire in the hole as a treat. I'm not quoting that. So yeah, we save Queek, and Queek runs off before we can ask him anything. And Vivi's like, come back! Queek, come back! And Nox is like, how do you know Queek? He was my first friend. How do you know Queek? He's the prince. So yeah, he runs off. Then what happens? Oh yeah, then we go and see the king. Because things are going a bit weird. Antlion's behaving badly. That happened with Gizmaluk back in Bermesia. And then there was an invasion and everyone died. So, obviously, people are a bit apprehensive about what's happening here. But we're protected via big sandstorm, so it's fine. But we go and see the king. Well, Nox goes and sees the... Well, we all go and see the king. Is this when we have a time? I think it might be. Yeah, I'm going to assume we have a time here. So, what does the king look like? King of Bermesia. Well, I'm going to do like the hat that I've been doing for them, but I'm going to make it like a crown. A little Statue of Liberty, but hey. This is the king. He's going to have a very long collar. I have absolutely no idea what this character looks like. Ironically, I made him look like a queen chess piece. Okay, this is the queen now. Since Freya left Bermesia, she transitioned. What actually happened is that the king's in hiding and a pawn pretends to be... The pawn was promoted to queen to protect We'll leave the chess analogies out. Anyway, they're like, thank you for your assistance. No, they're much more familiar and pleasant than that. And we mentioned, hey, we met Prince Queek out there. And the king's like, oh, he's showed his head, has he? Bloody rascal, keeps running off. Can't keep him down. So yeah, basically he's a bit of a rascal, keeps running away and getting into shenanigans. Classic puckish little sprite. And I'm gonna make that another robe. Robes on robes on robes. So yeah, we have a chat about this, and we also talk with like the people who run Clara and all these sorts of things. Running away to an entirely different province, country, kingdom. He's a small rat. Who's gonna notice? Robes and robes and robes and robes. There's also a small robe inside that robe. And then a cape on top of that, which is like a robe without sleeves. His parents, hopefully. They're very hands-off. It's more than could be said for people later in the story. Forgot about that. We'll get to that. What was I saying? Yes. Let's talk about this. Blah 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 blah. And we're also introduced over here to a harp, which looks very nice. And I have to draw. Oh, like a funky jewel. Seems appropriate that a harp is playing at the moment. And somebody's over here playing it. I'll give them a little flower crown. This is the magical harp of Clara. And playing it helps maintain the sandstorm. What is good because of the special thing, special rock. Helps appease whatever the thing is that makes the sandstorm. I don't know. We'll get to that. So it's nice that we actually have some harp music playing at the moment. Everything's all tree here because they live in a tree. Makes sense. Anyway, yeah, so we talked to the king, blah, 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 blah. However, there is a little thing about this society, which is not immediately... one of the big differences between Burmesian society and Claran society. Claran society, or Burmesian society has largely gotten rid of this side of things. It's still a thing. Because Nox is going to get involved. But it's much more important to the Clarans than it is to the Burmesians, which is dance. Dance is part of their culture and is part of the whole thing with this harp. Keeps things going. So I now have to roughly demonstrate the dance as it happens in the game. animated. I'll try and do my usual draw through special. I might as well play the music that I made that was the equivalent of this while that's happening. Well, the drawing shouldn't take much longer, so I'll stick it on now. Always forget the ears. And then the harp explodes. Actually, no, the harp doesn't explode. The strings on the harp explode. That's it. Important distinction. Just all snap. Very Riverdance. It's basically Riverdance. They just straight up choreograph a Riverdance in this game. Yeah, the string snap. Rather important difference, which we'll get to. I just thought, hang on, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, the string snap. This is an ill omen. What is an additional ill omen? Is that the sandstorm stops. Its magic just sort of dissipates and it just sort of slowly unwinds itself in a nice effect, but one I can't really replicate here. Well, maybe I can actually. Hang on. Is there a way I could do that? I don't think there is. Oh, well, maybe. Just might not be quite as slick as you'd think. Swap. Hang on, I can do this. I can do this. There you go, close enough. This is as good as I can make it. Oh dear. Doesn't the gem on the harp shatter too, or is that later? No. Neither. Right. So yeah, everyone is now understandably a bit freaked out. The one thing that was protecting the city is now gone. No one really knows why. The harp snapped. That's bad. Antlion's mad. That's bad. All not great. So we have a little bit of a discussion to try and work out what's going on. And then we get word that the Alexandrians are coming up the trunk of the tree and attacking. Not great. Memory being weird again. That's fine. I did exactly the same thing, which is why I went, oh, I chatted and then thought, hang on. No, it didn't. Yeah, so not good. Alexandrians, they're invading. Boom, straight up, they're attacking. Not good. And they're coming up the trunk, so we're like, okay, cool, we'll go down. We'll try and see what's going on. And we get down, we start going down the trunk. Let's see. There's a little path here going down the trunk or whatever. I'm using the wrong brush now. What with my incredible SFX skills. Simeon, will you ever look like you? And sure enough, Alexandrian soldiers are coming up the trunk. Is this the first time we fought Alexandrian soldiers? That's a question. They're invading. We're under attack. Bad things are happening. Oh no. It's not the first time I've drawn an Alexandrian soldier, because one of the Knights of Pluto was chatting one up at the beginning. I remember that. At this point, I could probably give him a double-sided thing rather than two knives, but whatever. Fighting on a random tree branch. This isn't technically correct. I don't really think you run up sort of disembodied tree branches like this. You do later in the game. Not here, somewhere else. A lot of trees in this game. Does it count the time we fought James and the two other Knights of Pluto at the start of the game? Yeah, maybe. Well, that's the Knights of Pluto. They're not Alexandrian soldiers. I mean, technically they are, but I'm talking about the female soldiers. Aha! So this is one we should play the music that we made on stream last Saturday, but the mixing's bad. Actually, tell you what, I'll play it. Let me know if the mixing's bad. I think the bass is way too strong. So if you're listening to this on anything other than headphones, I apologize. They're soldiers from Alexandria, but not Alexandrian soldiers. Exactly. Hmm? That's it. Mission over. Done. We repelled them. Hooray! When I'm done, there'll be a doubled version of that, but there isn't. Anyway, the Alexandrian soldiers in their skimpy outfits attack up the base, up the tree trunk of Clara, and we fight them back. But honestly, there's not much going on, to be honest. It's just a couple of soldiers here and there, and as we're going down, we think, this isn't much of an invasion force, is it? It's like a couple of soldiers here and there. And actually, now that I think about it, all of the invasion force in Burmecia weren't these soldiers. They were the Black Mages. We haven't seen a single Black Mage. Names. Queek. Queek then comes running down and goes, the city's under attack! They attack from the sky! And we go, crap. And then we run back up. Actually, can I... You're just here and small now, Simeon. Because there's not really an awful lot of point in me drawing you again. Fighting. Oh yeah, and your tail as well. Oh, we keep forgetting to draw his tail. He has a tail. It's got a monkey tail. So yeah, we get back up, and people are freaking out because everything's being attacked from the sky. How are they attacked from the sky? Simple. Bubbles. You thought only Elden Ring had bubbles. You'd be wrong. So these bubbles, they sort of flutter down from the sky like that. And then they pop. I said pop. Boop. And a big old black mage pops out. Magical sky bubbles. What can transport black mages? Using the wrong pencil again. What follows is a little quiz on how well you know this city, because you now have to help the citizens of this city take the right path to the palace for safety. And if you get it wrong, they're just interrupted by bubbles coming from the sky, black mages popping out and killing them with fireballs. The more you save, the more items you get from them as thank yous. They'd expect an airship, but not the air bubble. Exactly. It's the Bubble Brigade. They're here to fling fireballs at you. Not very bubbly, is it? I think these are slightly more powerful ones. There's like 3 different types of... There's 3 different models of black mages that you can buy at Mr. Swan's Black Mage Emporium. And these ones are the slightly more powerful ones than usual, so I'm going to give them a longer coat. Can we save them all here, please? Yes. I did on my playthrough, so I will consider that canon. This also includes our little kids. Because our little kids going, I didn't was scared, I'd help them. So go save them. And if you save them, they give you cards as a thank you. Because they're kids, that's all they've got. So yeah, they're bubbling down, and then there's this whole way of fighting our way up and so on and so forth. And we get to the top and we've ushered everybody into the thing, but then we are ambushed by more bubbles. Oh no, bubble. I like the gradient thing as I move it up and down. It's like, that makes it feel magical, doesn't it? One second. I'm gonna set up the scene. Invoke your ability to remember the most obscure information and lore in video games. Such as? It's not very action music, is it? Oh, the correct choice is to save everyone. Ah, I see. Yeah. There are actually some cues as you're doing this. So, like, occasionally, if you're paying attention, as you run into a new area, you might see some people just running up some stairs. So you know that's safe because they're running up there. So it must be safe. And you can catch little things like that. Or if you remember, like, okay, before we did this fight, these people ran down that set of stairs. So we shouldn't send them back up there because they ran away from something. You know, that sort of thing. So the Black Mage is going to keep a little group dance. It's the dance of your people. Actually, this is the music that plays in Lendblum, so arguably it's the dance of Simeon's people. A lot of dancing today. Thriller night. It's just a zany battle. Actually know the full plot of Remnant from the Ashes. I know literally nothing about the plot of Remnant from the Ashes. Do the hustle, baby. Do the hustle. I had to sing it then and I can't remember what it is. Anyway, then they all die. I'm gonna have to do a bit of memory here. Probably should have looked at this beforehand. Well, okay, let's just spoil it. So yeah, as we're surrounded, unable to do anything, surrounded by at least 3 of these enemies. You've definitely taken on more than that at once, but whatever, this is a cutscene. Someone comes in and saves us. Who could it possibly be? Oh, how in the hell did it go? Okay. That's a bubble. Yeah, dance scene. There's the river dance from Final Fantasy IX if you want it. And also the original music, which is good. Another one of those ones where I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to do as good as the original, so I'll just write something I like. That was originally meant to be grass, but as I was drawing it, I was like, oh, it's like a puff of dust. Yes, so, what was the name of the character? Cheryl Ladlewith. It's Cheryl, long lost Cheryl, has turned up, Nox's husband. Has turned up and slays all of the black mages in the way and tells us to run into the palace. I was like, cool, cheers. It's Cheryl! Ah! We only heard that you were missing 2 weeks ago. And now you're here. Wow, what a wonderful time. So we run into the palace and get safe. Hooray. Another song you can't stop hearing in your mind? What song's that? It's in Japanese, I don't know what it says. He was missing? He's been missing for 5 years. Nox has been out looking for him. I will reiterate, for the purposes of this reunion, what happened in this flashback. Which was enacted as a consequence of... Or which was remembered when Nox saw Jessie. Because she had a memory of her husband, Cheryl. It was a flashback, yes, from 5 years ago. You've only been half paying attention, that's fine. So yeah, 5 years ago, Nox and her husband Cheryl had a conversation. The conversation was basically, "Hey, I'm oh, your spear changed into an Albert. Nice. That's all right. That's what recaps are for." And he said, "Well, I'm a warrior of Bermesia, and I need to protect Bermesia. But have you seen people like bloody Jessie? She's amazing. She's way out of the league of any of our soldiers. We need better soldiers. So I'm gonna go off into the world and learn fighting techniques that our kingdom has never heard of, and I will become one of the strongest soldiers, and I will be able to protect Bermesia, so on and so forth." And Nox is like, "Are you sure? This doesn't sound like such a great idea." And Cheryl's like, "I have to, for the sake of Bermesia." And then he leaves, and he never came back. Not even so much as a word. No one knows where he went, what happened to him. Most people assumed he was dead. Song that plays during the attack, if you remember right. Oh yeah, the what was it? I was like, "You're a terrible ladle whiff." Exactly. And Nox has literally, for the last 5 years, well, for the last 3 years probably. 3 years? I'm guessing 3 years. I don't think she went out to look for him immediately. It'd be a bit weird. But certainly for at least the last 3 years, she's been traveling the world trying to find him, or anyone who's heard of him knows anything about him, and has heard literally nothing. So as you might be able to understand, hang on, let me just copy this, so I don't have to draw it again. I know it's a draw through. Whoops, I copied the entire folder. Let's do stream 8 again. Why does it look like that? That's why. Because that's still on? Question mark? What have I done? Did I break it? Oh no, there's one there. There we go. What did I do? I did nothing. Anyway, I've evidently got a new halberd, because... I drew it and it looks alright. I think that's what halberds are supposed to look like, but this is a fantasy game. They can look however I fancy. Sure, whatever. We know your ladle whiff. Right. You can look forwards now, stop being wistful. So yeah, we get back into the palace and everyone's safe for now. The invasion is still happening, but we're in the palace. The palace is just a building though. I'm not entirely sure how we're safe in here, but... and Nox is over the moon. As you might expect. Her husband, person she's been looking for the last 5 years, finally arrives. Not only arrives, but also arrives to save everyone's life. It's like, hey, that's what he said he wanted to do. And she explains to him, is like, oh, where have you been? I've been looking for you for 3 years. There was no one heard hide nor hair of you. Oh, it's you know, how was your training? What have you seen? You've gotten very strong. How was all? She's very excited. And it's at that point that he looks at her and goes, sorry, do I know you? She's like, yes. I'm your wife. And he goes, don't remember there being a wife. Don't recognize Nox, you said? No, Nox, that's not ringing any bells. And it's at this point that Queek comes in. and explains that it was him who got Cheryl to come here, because only he's known where Cheryl's been for a while, at least. Because where he was when Queek found him was at the bottom of a ravine, having fallen down and knocked himself unconscious and lost all of his memories. And Queek has essentially been kind of trying to help recuperate him and keep him away from Nox for the last couple of years, because he knew that Nox probably wouldn't take this very well, but since everybody was under attack and dying, he thought, I should probably go get him now. And yeah, so Queek's like, sorry you had to find out like this, but we wanted people not to die. Yeah, something terrible has happened to this person. Let's not tell their loved ones for years. He's a child, all right? He's like, oh no, Nox is going to be real sad if she finds out about this. Let's try and make him better, see if he gets his memory back. And apparently literally all he remembers is, oh yeah, the word Bamesia rings a bell. I think I'm supposed to think I have an attachment to that, so as soon as I heard it was under attack, well, I came back. And that's it. That's all he's got. And then he goes, right, well, cool, now that's done. Bye! And then jumps off. He literally just goes, my work here is done. Bye! Nox takes this well. In the sense that she's falls on her knees and starts crying. But you didn't do anything, Swish escape. And Simeon pokes his head in and goes, Nox, are you gonna go after him? You've been looking for him for 3 years. You gonna tell him who you are and see if you can reforge the relationship? And Nox is like, no. No, it's better left like this. Been looking for somebody for 3 years and they can't even remember who I am. There's an irony to that I can appreciate. At least he's safe. Now's not the time, Simeon. He's trying. Everyone's trying. Everyone's idiots, but they're trying. Everyone is plural idiots. You're not important to the scene. So you're coming in off the side. Do you remember the bowling pin group? From FF8? I missed that. That was easy. Cheryl has amnesia, but this woman clearly knows you and you just run. You trash him too. You deserve better. She deserves so much better. 3 years. Well, 5 years waiting, 3 years searching. Finally find him, and there's no memory of you whatsoever. Like, yeah, if you forget your whole wife, you're not even trying. So yeah, it's at this point she just sort of goes, yeah, it's better off just leaving it now. He's okay, I can accept that. He's not dead. That's as good as I'm gonna get. While this is happening... Oh, hang on, I am actually gonna have to draw your body. No, I did not plan for this. Oh, the sad Bamisi music's playing. It feels appropriate. Quimch is here to offer a helping hand. And by hand I mean belly. Which is also considerably smaller than I remember. That's fine, they shrink and grow. They're like fungus. It sounded high maintenance, she's better off. Anyway, meanwhile... Remember that harp? Remember that harp, what exploded? Q might be all fungus. You might all be a fungus that they can consume anything. True. You can't kill them in any way that matters. He could not be okay if Nox had the cojones to make it so. Come to want a snack? This is a husband Nox doesn't need anymore. Eat Cheryl. Gonna have Harry Mason running in here going, no! Yeah, while this is happening, Beatrix just steals the jewel from the harp, because we're not paying attention. Beatrix. Beatrix is a different character. What's the name? Jessie, that's the one. Sorry, confused me because there is a Beatrix in the games. Different Beatrix. General Jessie, that's the one. Yeah, Jessie just comes in and steals the jewel and she plucks it out with her sword. Blink. She's like, cheers for that. Made that very easy. You know, I'm now just realizing how similar the plot of this is to Final Fantasy IV. I like how Quimch is just staring up at her. So, hi there. I remember you. I was thinking of the Knights of Pluto, exactly. Payday! Yeah. So then what happens is that Beatrix runs out. We all run out following her. And, well, hang on. Save a bit more time. This happens again. We have another fight with her. Once again, she's way too strong for us. She knocks us all out and leaves us on the ground. There's statistical inferences on the plots of these games, and you're only now just noticing. Yes. Look, hang on. You tell me that this looks a lot like this. Like, oh yeah, there's a lot of I can see the patterns. It's just symbols. It's just a mess of symbols. That was the conclusion I came to when I did this, was it's just symbols. It all looks the same to you. Exactly. Seven's the longest, interestingly. It's got the most changes we've seen, I suppose. For the sake of Bear, this is the thing, I analysed the plots of the Final Fantasy games that I'd played by reducing the stories down to 16 core symbols. So, for example, this one means there was a boss fight. This means lore happened. This one was a character learned something about themselves. This is someone died, etc. And I did this to try and find patterns to see if there was any Final Fantasy-ness to the plot. Something that made it feel like Final Fantasy. The answer was no, but it did mean that I had a good statistical spread of I don't appreciate the silly music playing while I'm saying this. It makes me sound like an idiot. Anyway, it gave me a rough plot of where these symbols would arise in any given story like this, which I used to create a random generator to randomly produce a plot of a JRPG, which we used in a series of streams called 16 Symbols. We're going to do another one of those after this draw through. Just so you know. Also, Final Fantasy 1 was not on that analysis because Final Fantasy 1 barely has a plot. I am an idiot. Doesn't mean I'm not smart, True. It fits your confused expression perfectly. So yeah, I did actually also do it. Hang on, can I show? Oh no, I didn't make this into a picture, did I? I think I just did this in a text, yeah. Yeah, I also did it for the Metal Gear Solid games that I played. Because I was going to do a randomly generated Metal Gear Solid, so... Which I still may do at some point. Final Fantasy 1 doesn't have a plot, it's one long MacGuffin fetch quest, exactly. Go find the eye, go find the key, go find the crystal, go find the princess. Go find the dynamite. I remember that one. Same 5 to you as Julia Cudney doing several spreadsheets of the plot structure of all the Bridgerton novels. Hers weren't quite this elaborate. I don't know, it looks more elaborate than it is, really. Still won't be as wild as the actual Metal Gear Solid games. Apparently Barry started playing number 4. I don't know anything about number 4, so I might watch that. Anyway. Yeah. We're gonna do the end of this bit, and then we'll stop. Because apparently it's already been 2 hours. Some of these streams go really slowly, and some of them go really quickly, and I don't really know how to tell. So yes, we have this fight yet again. Oh yeah, Vivi is there. Completely missed Vivi there for a sec. Oh, hang on, that's probably the reason why. There we go. Contrast. Managed to catch the last 2 hours of the stream live last night, then watched the first 3 hours of the VOD earlier today. It's like 6 hours. I imagine that's just the opening cutscene, right? I've heard a lot about that game, and it's mostly cutscenes. Already a time. I remember reading a plot synopsis once and going, okay. Anywho, yes, sorry. Distractions. So, we fight General Jessie. She thrashes us because she's very cool. And she... Hup. Blue. Wibbly. Have we actually beaten any bosses in this game? Yeah, we beat Adeline. Well, we didn't kill it. Ismaluke didn't kill that. Black Waltz 3, we took 2 attempts, but we got there. Plant boss, Plant Brain. Do you remember Plant Brain, right? We killed that, and then March turned to stone because we did. Black Waltz 1 and 2, yep, did those. To be fair, Black Waltz 1 and 2 was on screen for like 5 seconds. So... Don't know if that's winning. Exactly, yeah. There hasn't really been a conclusive, like, oh yeah, that was a good victory. Well, there was the snake in the tunnel. Again, that was just a random snake. This is the thing with Final Fantasy games, right? Most of the bosses just come out of nowhere. They don't really have anything to do with anything. So when you get a story boss like Jessie, chances are it's going to be one of those ones where you can't actually beat it and they run away. Or, well, in this case, they defeat you and then just casually walk away. But yes, Jessie jumps into a bubble and flies away. And we're like, that's a good idea. Because presumably, wherever she's going in one of those bubbles will be the source of all this stuff that's happening. We might find the queen or whatever. That's probably a good place to go. So some more bubbles come down. And one by one, characters jump in. I believe Simeon's first. Yep. To swim. Goes. Stop! Get back in the bubble. Get back in the bubble, you. He's in the bubble, and she's actually really tiny there. Get in the bubble. It's a magical bubble. Anyway, this was how they were getting the black mages on top of the thing. Because bubbles. But apparently it's a two-way system. So then Simeon goes flying off on a bubble. And then another one comes down. What remains of Nox? She's a little broken after her the whole scenario with her husband. She goes flying off, and then blah 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 blah. Little baby Viv. Yeah. Special effects, they're my expertise. And he goes flying off. And then, yep, you guessed it. Quimch goes, I don't like heights, and then leaves. Meanwhile, good job, Quimch. Quimch is just gone now, so. Meanwhile, up on the, I believe it's called the Red Rose, is the airship where this is all coming from. We have the Queen. The Queen is here. Well, if it's the Red Rose, I've been expecting them to try and eat it when you play it. Their entire purpose of traveling around the world is to find nice things to eat. That's what they're here for. Anyway, yes, so they... There was a cutscene that should have played before this. Let's do that first. Very, very quickly, let's do that first. Is there a bubble? Is that a bubble? What is this? We can tell if we select things from the layer. Nothing was selected, so this is an empty layer. Okay. Cut back to the castle. The Queen is in prison. Oh no, the Queen is imprisoned in her bedroom. And we have the starfish cage. They're all in there. Not the Queen, Princess. Did I say the Queen? I meant the Princess. The Queen's on the ship. Princess is in her bedroom. Brain. Princess is in her bedroom, imprisoned, and Frick and Frack come in and they're like, you need to come with us, blah, 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 blah. Because I've told this in slightly the wrong order, I can actually streamline this a little bit. Definitely telling the correct story, don't worry about it. And what happens is Mr. Swan comes in. He's like, my beautiful bird, finally you have come home to roost. She's like, who are you? I don't like you, you're weird. Why are you wearing a codpiece? He's like, I shall play my part in your story. That of the princess. Doomed by the narrative, and the knight in shining armor comes along and saves her. She's like, I'm imprisoned. Probably because of my mother who you work for. This is, I don't think you quite understand what's going on here. And he says, no, I don't think you quite understand what's going on here. I am here to be the knight in shining armor to the beautiful princess, cursed to an eternal sleep. At which point he sprinkles her with magic powder and she falls asleep. This is all happening by a window with curtains. Can you have some of that powder? I think it's just magic, but it looks like powder. At this point, Frick and Frack come in and drag her off down into the basement, where they perform a ritual. Imagine she's still wearing a Moogle hoodie. Two orders for powder, please. Everyone can have sleep powder. And yeah, so Frick and Frack are doing an occult ritual. Isn't that fun? Jester's doing an occult ritual. How joyous. And they're bouncing around and they're talking about how the 16 years have passed because she's 16 years old, and so the ritual can commence, something, something, something. Metaphor for coming of age. And they talk about how what they're doing, they mention that they are extracting something. This is important because what they're extracting is supposed to be happening in the scene that I was about to draw. So I should probably mention this first. So yeah, they're hopping around and they're doing their thing. And they are extracting something or other. Hang on a minute. Something's getting extracted, and it's all very magical and mystical and wonderful. We return to the ship, where Queen Helga is eagerly awaiting the results of the extraction, what we just saw. And a soldier comes along and goes, "Queen, good news. The extraction worked." Can we please wear something a bit warmer? No! They're literally wearing leotards. It's weird. Not normal, you know, military uniform. I don't feel. Anyway, and she says, right, cool, extraction complete. Let's do it. Boom! Go! Do the thing! She waves a fan around. Do it! What then happens is the clouds part. Some bright light appears in the air and the clouds part. This is going to be some very slow clouds. And out of the clouds, rather annoyingly for me, rides a horse. A horse from the front. I've never drawn a horse from the front. This is a bad idea. A six-legged horse. It's from the front. It doesn't matter. Oops, don't look. Look away for your own safety. It's wearing like armor and stuff or something or other. It's also riding in the sky, so it doesn't really have to make sense. Because more importantly, there's someone on the horse. Oh, I definitely remember what he looks like. The extra legs are at the front. It's not Tory. Although you got two of the letters right. You said six legs. You didn't specify what legs. It is, as series aficionados may be able to recognize, Odin. It's Odin coming in on Sleipnir. Is that the name of the haunts? I think that's the haunt's name. Not annoying. Good old Odie. And Garfield, the horse. And he comes in with his cool spear. Gun gear. Or whatever. Jump. Anyway, he comes out of the sky. And like a cool cape, probably. I don't know. Sleipnir, Loki's kid. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, they come down from the sky, and Odin, confusing me now, Odin throws his spear. What does he throw his spear at? Good question. He throws his spear at the tree. And it goes wee, plonk into the tree. The tree then explodes. We did indeed set it on fire. Well, the Queen did anyway. Odin did. We Oppenheimered this thing. And it is, it's like a nuke. It just absolutely explodes. There is no tree left at the end of this. Yeah, that went well. Thanks, Odin. Real help. Rip Clara and anyone who didn't manage to get free in time. Which is probably quite a lot of people. Does that include Quimch? Does that include Queek? Or any of the other characters we've come to know and love? I'm gonna say it does include Cheryl. Quimch ate the explosion. It's like jumping on a grenade, but just like swallowed the spear. Absolutely include Cheryl. Does Cheryl come back at the I don't think so. You know, it's basically the end of that. Nox being sad. It's basically the end of that story. Spoilers, I suppose. Swishes cape and leaves. Yeah, and then Odin just rides into the sun. And Queen Helga. I feel like this is going to take a second. Could have been smarter about this. But that involves being smart. Posture. Right, cool. Done. Queen Helga, very pleased by this turn of events. It's a terrifying image. This is the thumbnail. The VOD.
This Muppet committed genocide.
Yep. I imagine that's said with the same sort of tone as this little piggy went to market. I'm still shading this for some reason. Anyway, yeah, this is the image you should take away from this stream. That and Cheryl exploding. Cheryl does show up later, so he did get out. Oh, boo. But the fact that I couldn't remember that is very indicative. Straighten posture and back cracked. Oh no. And there we go. End of stream. Hope you enjoyed. And then the world was ruled by her forever after. Do you think Butterknife's uncle will take this seriously now? Maybe. Maybe he might possibly have something to say about this. What is the story of this game? Well, we've just invented the atomic bomb. Different type of WTF than FF8. Yeah, a lot of things just sort of happen. There are clues of things like this. Well, the absolute annihilation of an entire civilization is not really well telegraphed. That is supposed to be a surprise. But the fact that what Butterknife had was summons. In fact, I did actually mention that earlier. I mentioned it, that like she can technically summon things in battle, but she doesn't actually have the power to do that yet. It's in a menu, but you can't use it because she doesn't have enough MP. Yeah, and Odin's summon skill is usually a one-hit KO, exactly. So this is sort of representative of that. Stuff's happened. You have zero idea what our main characters have to do with any of it. Well, the war that's happening is being instigated by one of our characters' mum. One of our characters is mum. Yeah, there's a sentence there. It is also being undertaken by an army of people much like another one of our characters, who are being manufactured, so they want to work out what's going on there. And everyone else is along for the ride. But Knife hasn't done anything. You are very much mistaken. If you recall, I showed you the scene in which Odin was extracted from her. So what she has done is caused this to happen by returning home. That's worse, I know. But she has done something. Yeah, certainly at the beginning of this story, the plot is largely just sort of happening to the characters. She's the MacGuffin. She was the MacGuffin. She is no longer the MacGuffin. She was the MacGuffin, right up until this part of the story, and you didn't even know it. We now know why the Queen wanted to get her back. Why she sent the Black Waltzers after her. To retrieve her. But yeah, coincidence that she wanted to run away on her 16th birthday, but yeah, Vivi's motivation for uncovering stuff you don't get what this child is gonna doing a nuclear war. God knows what Simeon's deal is. Yeah, there's a reason I say Vivi is the main character. Vivi's the main character, Butter Knife's the MacGuffin. Simeon is, I want to say we'll get to that, but I'm not entirely certain we will. It's the thing. Simeon's there to try and boost morale. He's pulling everyone together and going, right, we need to fix this. And then we don't fix it because it's a nuclear war. He's the bard. He's the thief, really. I guess that no, he's not the bard. He doesn't have cheer or anything like that. Not like Tidus. I will allow the term "he's the slut." Yes, he's the slut. That will return into the story. It's more where that came from. Another for the unhinged word pile, yeah. It's sluttery, of course, as part of his character. We explore people's characters here in this Drawthrough. Unlike FF8. We named him so well at the start, yeah. You've named a lot of characters very well. I will say. But, yee. And that's that. That is the stream. It happened. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the start of the nuclear apocalypse. My brain was trying to come up with a nuclear apocalypse / Odin pun, and it said it had one, but it didn't. So I'm going to admonish it live on stream. Stupid brain. Oh yeah, and rip to Clara and Bermesia. Bermesia is at least still intact, right? That is still a city. No one's in it anymore, but it's there. Clara exploded. So yeah, and I when I say atomic bomb, I'm not exaggerating the size of this thing. It is that scale. But yeah, what will happen next? Tune in to find out. It's not looking great. But yeah. Thanks for coming along. I'll be back tomorrow morning with doodling some more things for the Googology video, which I need to try and get done as quickly as possible because I've now randomized the October drawings and I want to get started on them. We're almost there, actually. I have... How many more characters left to do? 11, but I've already started 2 others. And 2 of them are identical, so 10 characters to draw, I suppose. Which out of 47 is not bad. And then I've got to edit it. Video. But yeah, then there'll be Chibi Nether's Day, more Tales from Borderlands. Exciting. And then Friday's Patreon hangout, Saturdays, music in the morning, Celasta in the evening, unless there's a surprise remnant patch. Probably not. We're gonna Helios, baby! Yeah, we're gonna go space. Because the baby said we needed to go to space. Yeah. Things. Etc. I have thought like 3 or 4 things to say during this end thing and gone, yeah, no, that's an entire conversation. Let's not do it at the end of a thing. So I'm just going to end it. Have a lovely time, everybody. Hope you enjoyed everything. Have a lovely week. Look after yourselves. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. Stay fed. Stay happy, if possible. Bye.